Are you ready?
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
I was right.
The Sixers won the game.
Let's go!
I am the best.
And here are your hosts, Jessica Town and Rob Lange.
You're a jackass.
Embrace the madness.
It is Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, which can only mean one thing, and that is the madness is back. How is everybody doing? Episode 97, here with you, as always, the lovely Jessica Town, and me, the beast of the group, Rob Lange.
And me.
Rob Lange. And, another week closer to Eagles football. That means something. Preseason began last week. Not the prettiest beginning to a preseason that you can imagine, but we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the show. The Phillies bringing back an old face on a day where an old face is going to be pitching against them. So do a little reminiscing, but also talk about what this means for the team. But before we get to all that, the madness is brought to you by ProSportsNotes.com, powered by Wi-Fi Radio. I got it. You can catch us on iTunes, anywhere podcast, by searching The Madness with Rob Lange. We are live on YouTube, as we are every Wednesday at this time. Check out the Pro Sports Notes channel over there. And then, obviously, you can catch the stream of this show on wildfireradio.com every Friday morning, 9 to 11. And just my headset's messed up. I don't know why. I just sound weird today. No?
You sound fine to me.
Oh, thanks, Jess.
You're welcome.
It's the nicest compliment you ever gave me. So, Jess, how's your week going?
It might be the only compliment I've ever given
That is also, that's kind of where I was going with that. So, how was your week, Jess?
My week has been good.
Yeah, another beach week for you.
A little bit, yeah.
Must be nice.
We went back down, and I don't think I'm ever going to drink again. I think that's kind of where we are now.
That's a young kid thing right there to say I'll never drink again when you know damn well you will.
I know. I just don't think I'm ever going to drink a White Claw again.
Okay.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
White Claws are out.
But, always good to spend some time with fam and friends. And, we had to come home because Joe started football camp and his teaching job and everything this week. So we've been home for the last couple of days. But I'm actually going back down tonight to see the fam. I'm meeting them somewhere for crab legs and beer, and I'm quite excited about it.
It sounds like a tough job for you right now.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about those crab legs.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
My mom texted me today and was like, don't worry, we're still going. I was like, I was going regardless if you were.
Did you get water back is the major question. You didn't have any water.
Yeah, no, we got it back.
Got it back.
Fine.
Okay, good.
Everything was fine.
I'm glad you're able to shower in your own place. And
so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous because it was unfortunate because it was last week when we were home for literally 2 days out of last week. And it was the 2 days we were home that our water went out, which just sucked. It was really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it's fine. We made it. We're here.
And here we are in
This is true.
3 episodes away from episode 100 of The Madness. Yep. 3 episodes away from discussing the NFC East on the eve of the NFL season. And we have to start with baseball again because the Philly saga continues.
It does.
An atrocious road trip where they lose 3 of 4 to San Francisco and 2 of 3 to Arizona over the course of last week before coming home and winning 4-2 last night in a game that they struck out 15 times in the game.
They won.
They did, but, it just is going to bring me to some of the things. I'm going to take a couple hard stances today that I haven't done about them yet.
See? They're like 53-16 or something crazy when they score 4 or more runs.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to do that.
They just need to do that.
Simple.
And those 16 losses, they scored about 10 runs and gave up 18 probably, as it's been one of those seasons for them. And really, I mean, look, there had been hints after the road trip that something was going to happen. Jim Salisbury had wrote an article and basically said, what will Monday bring? Almost like he could feel that something was happening and there was going to be a change. But I don't think this was a change anybody expected. I mean, yes, we expected maybe John, Malley? Is that how they say his name?
Yeah,
the old hitting coach.
So.
To be fired, to be relieved of his duties, and he was. But I'm pretty sure that I could have had 1,000 guesses.
And no one would have guessed Charlie.
And I would have never guessed that they got Charlie Manuel to come out of retirement back into the dugout to be the hitting coach for the final 43 games of the season. And when I'm always excited when Charlie's back. Charlie was the first coach to make me look like a jackass. So I'm a big fan of Charlie for that, because after about
the first one?
Yeah, because after about the second year of Charlie is when I started my he's never going to win here, he's got to go thing, and we all know how that turned out. It turned out real well, right? Yeah. So I love Charlie because he made me look like an idiot, and I happen to like people who make me look like an idiot. Hence why I like to talk with Jess, because she does a really good job of attempting to make me look like an idiot.
And succeeding.
Sometimes. Not all the time.
Most of the time.
No, negative. But look, I'm happy Charlie's back because I like the way that he teaches hitting. But this move should have been made 40 games ago, not with 40 games left. I don't know how you change an entire mentality.
You don't.
In 43 games.
You don't.
Well, Matt Klentak said.
Matt Klentak's an idiot.
Actually, let's hear from the idiot himself. Shall we?
No, I don't want to.
I want to hear from the idiot. We're going to hear from the idiot.
But the reason we did this, and the reason we did this today, is because we have 44 games remaining. We're 2 games out of the playoffs. I know that a lot of people are burying us and saying we have no chance and we haven't played well. And part of that's correct. We have not played well. We have not hit well, especially since the Star break. But we are not buried and we are not out.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I'm just going to pose a little question, okay? If you want to use your place in the standings now to say we had to do this because we are 2 games out of a playoff spot and there are still 40-plus games to play this season, then I ask you this question, Matt. Why, when you had the ability to better this team and to better them without having to give up your top 2 or 3 prospects, did you sit on your hands? Did you sit on your ass and say, I'm going to go get all these guys for cash considerations instead, and we'll just see what happens? Because
he was content doing that. This isn't him. He didn't have any part in this decision. He didn't have any part in this decision. Gabe Kapler didn't have any part in this decision. Andy McPhail did not have any part in this decision. This had nothing to do with any of them. This was John Middleton getting fed up on Sunday night, picking up the phone and going, listen, I worked too damn hard and spent too damn much money in this offseason and put together a dynamic roster for you, and you've done nothing but screw around with it and screw it up for the most part. So you need to do something to figure it out, or I'm cleaning house from top to bottom. This had nothing. Matt Klentak can sit there and say, we did this, I did this, all he wants. He had nothing to do with this. He said, you go down there and fire the hitting coach, and I'm replacing him with Charlie Manuel. This was a John Middleton move, decision, conversation from top to bottom. And you will never convince me otherwise.
Oh, I agree with you.
So that's why Matt Klentak did all those things, because he did count them out. He did close the door on the season. And we've talked about that before, that they were closing the door on it. And if they didn't make the playoffs, there's always next year. That's the vibe that we were getting. And that is what the president, the general manager, and the coach were all kind of articulating. Yeah, they were going to try to win games, but we're not 1 move away from the World Series. Is it true? Yeah. Did they try anyway? Not really. So they did all that, and then it didn't work and is continuing to get worse. Now they're in 4th place behind the Mets, and John Middleton had enough. So, yeah, it is too late, and no, it's not going to change anything, but that's only because our GM is a moron.
I am in agreement. So that's what, but my problem is this. If John Middleton's willing to step in now, then it should have happened. And it comes back to what I've been saying for a few weeks now, and what I've tweeted and what I've said here on this show. The Philadelphia Phillies are an inept organization. They had a moment this summer where they seemed to be less inept, right? They made some moves. They made the offense better. But even in that moment, and just me and you discussed it on here, and when we had guests on here, we asked the question. We said, this organization seems to really trust the pitching that they have at the major league level right now. And that, my friends, turned out to be a disaster. Okay, we've seen blown saves. We've seen bad starters. We've seen psychopaths when it comes to just not having the ability to have the right mindset to be a starting pitcher. We have guys like Nick Pivetta who are just going to give up 2 home runs every time he comes in, no matter what.
Nick Pivetta makes me want to jump off a tall building.
But this is my issue, right?
You're not wrong, but the problem is Middleton wanted to trust the guys they had too, and I don't have a problem with them trusting Eflin, trusting Pivetta. I don't have a problem with them trusting their young guys to take a step forward, and I don't have a problem with them not just going out and buying their entire roster. I don't have a problem with them putting some trust in there, because at the end of the day, these guys are never going to get better. They're never going to turn into anything if someone doesn't trust them. So they needed that trust. Okay, it didn't work out, and it just got worse. You had more and more people going to the IL. You know, that's something that you can't change. So they tried to figure it out, and it just got to the point where, I mean, the series against the Diamondbacks and then against the Giants were so telling, because they had every chance to win every single one of those games. And it was less, honestly, watching those games, to me, the way it looked there were a couple moments that, it was pitching, but for the most part, it was striking out and leaving runners in scoring position. It was the bats that were more frustrating than anything. At the end of the day, we kind of know what our pitching is. And the reason that is not exactly being addressed is because we had a lot more injuries happen. Like, we've gotten rocked by injuries this year, especially
in the bullpen. I agree.
Especially in the bullpen with think about it. David Robertson was they paid a lot of money for him to come here, and he didn't play at all. He played, 2 games?
Yeah, very few.
Pat Neshek went down. Tommy Hunter went down. Sir Anthony Dominguez, who remembered he existed? I didn't until I saw him the other day. I was like, oh my God, hey. And and there are other people that have also spent time and come back up. So that is something that they're like, okay, we're not going to trade and do all these drastic things right now, because we have guys that we think can do it. We just don't know, because they're hurt. We could be in a different position. We don't know that. But the fact that your bats of Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Gene Segura, all of these big name guys that are supposed to be doing well. Scott Kingery had a phenomenal start to the season. Jay Bruce, when he came in, he started off hot and then cooled off. When you had Brad Miller started off okay when he got here. He cooled off. Adam Hazley has been playing well. And so is Corey Dickerson. You don't want all of a sudden, if you're looking at this logically, and you also look at the season that J.P. Crawford is having, the season that Carlos Santana is having, okay? All-Star game, home run derby, grand slam 3 nights ago, and he walked off against the Red Sox last night, or 2 nights ago. These are the things you look at and go, okay, what is the one common denominator here? It's the mentality that they go into hitting with, and it's the way that they're teaching hitting, and that needed to be changed. Whether or not it's going to be able to be turned around, whatever, maybe it's just going to take the pressure off it. Maybe it'll give them the green light to swing at a first pitch fastball. Who knows, okay? Whatever, you're not letting John Malley get his hands on Adam Hazley all the way. You're not letting him ruin Corey Dickerson right now. And when you have guys like Alec Boehm or whoever else coming up, he doesn't let him get their hands on him either and ruin them before they have the chance to.
And look,
so that's my kind of rationale, because I think Middleton is absolutely in a win now mode, and I like him and trust him way more than anybody else in that Phillies organization. So that's to your point of why now, why did it take so long, why didn't Middleton step in before? That's kind of where I'm thinking about it, because to me it doesn't make sense to trade away prospects and trade these people away when you do have things in the bullpen that they're just hurt. Like don't totally ruin
But then
it all.
don't say then you're not in win now mode.
I understand. Well, they started the season in win now mode.
Yes,
they started in win now mode. But when injuries happen,
at the time that the deadline came around, what I'm saying is this: the time the deadline came around, I watched a bunch of relievers who have been successful this year get moved for lesser prospects. I'm not even talking about using. And here's look. It to me, it's all part of a bigger issue that has plagued this franchise outside of the 07 to 2011 run. It has plagued this franchise for years and years and years and years. And I agree with you on Middleton. Everything you said, Jess, I'm in total agreement with you. And Middleton's the only guy I trust. My problem is this. Everybody in this organization is looking for a yes man. They're not looking for a baseball man. It's why Gabe Kapler's here. It's why McVale and Clentack are here. And they're all looking for the guy that's just going to go along with what they feel. Now, here's my issue. And this is why I go to the ineptitude part of it. They don't know what they're talking about. Gabe Kapler, and once again, I will say this as I've said 1,000 times. I am not blaming this whole season on Gabe Kapler. I'm not. But
he makes decisions.
He has not shown me that he knows how to feel the game as it's being played. Now, I had someone who I know very well, is actually my cousin, who played baseball, who knows baseball, and he said to me, well, nowadays all the decisions are made from the front office, even on the in-game decisions. I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that the manager has nothing to do other than sit there and smile and deal with the media. Okay? Because I've now watched twice. The Philadelphia Phillies have 2 outs in a 9th inning.
Oh, yeah.
With a pitcher, and him pull the guy to try and play the friggin' numbers. He did it again, and I forget if it was in Arizona or if it was in San Fran, but this time it was Alvarez. Got 2 outs, had all the momentum, and he pulls them.
Yep.
And they lose the game.
I don't remember what it was either.
This has to stop. And you're right about the hitting. It is the biggest issue. But why was John Malley there? Because he's a yes, sir, yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And that's why he was the first one to go. And I think Charlie's also going to be a little bit of a feed me what's going on in there kind of person.
Yeah, and if this continues, though, because Charlie's not going to be here past the last 43 games. I'm watching little quotes, he's coming down. I don't want to manage again. I'm 75 years old.
Yeah.
I'm watching him say these things. I'm not worried about what's down the line. I'm just worried about getting to the end of the season. Okay? So does that mean after he's gone, they're just going to bring in another yes man to teach about stupid-ass launch angle and analytics? Right, Gabe Kapler after the game last night. They strike out 15 times a game, 14 to a starter. And Gabe Kapler says about Bryce Harper, who, by the way, went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts last night. My God, but you know what? He saw a lot of pitches. He looked at 11 pitches. What the hell does it matter?
How does that matter? Like, what does that matter?
That only matters.
It only
if you're
matters
hitting.
to him. Like it only matters to Gabe Kapler.
But it would only if he was hitting, right? If he had an average of 285 and he's poking the ball to every side of the field and doing, then you go, okay, yeah. But he struck out twice.
Yeah, you say that, and it's also him seeing all these pitches and wearing the starting pitcher down. Great.
Yes.
But he's not. And it sucks.
And when those comments are made, when all you can do as a manager or a coach in professional sports, it's the one thing about Brett Brown that would drive me nuts when he would tell me about this silver lining or that. But at least Brett Brown every now and again would be like, no, this is awful. You can't find the silver lining in a guy seeing 11 pitches when he goes 0 for 4.
Did you see Charlie Manuel in his presser goes?
His home run quote? That's a great one, too.
I never tried to teach walking. That's hilarious.
Which tells you he's coming in here to tell him to swing the damn bats at the first pitch. He also said,
you see a pitch, hit it.
He also said, a home run is nothing but a well-hit fly ball that comes down over the other side of the fence. Great Charlieism right there.
I love you, Charlie.
Once again, say now.
I will never forget. My favorite thing about Charlie Manuel, other than
fighting Howard Eskin,
is when they did something like towards the end of his time here. I don't remember what it was, but it was some like promo, and there were Twitter questions involved somehow. And it was when like you had to people like hashtagged everything, and hashtagging was like a huge thing. And it was hilarious because Charlie was reading them, but he was saying £sign before everything. So it was like £sign Phillies, £sign. It was so funny. It was one of the best, most entertaining things I've ever seen in my life.
Baseball's a funny game, and I just happened to land here today. Another quote from him. I'm just kind of as they come across Twitter from all the hence why we couldn't get anybody on the show, Jess.
Yeah, everyone's
they're
there,
all literally meeting.
They all literally were like, "Oh, I have some pregame duties today." I'm like, "That's fine."
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Which literally meant interviewing Charlie Manuel because he's being interviewed as we speak here right now. But listen, and that brings me to this point. Okay. Later in that press conference yesterday from the wonderful idiot, Matt Klentak.
He is the worst.
Okay, I'm going to just call him Jackass from now on. Sitting next to a miserable Gabe Kapler, by the way. A frigging miserable Gabe Kapler would be up there.
Gabe Kapler looked so unhappy.
Why don't you just come out and say you don't like it? And kudos to Howard Eskin, because he asked one question during it that was great, and he said, and he prefaced it, he said, Gabe, I have to ask this because it's out there. People are saying that you made it clear that Charlie Manuel should have been relieved of his managerial duties in 2013. And Gabe said, I don't know what you're talking about, which tells me he said it. But
he did say it. It's a tweet. It's out. I put it in my article yesterday.
I see. I should have read your article.
Wow. I'll find it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have 3 children at home. I didn't have a chance yesterday.
You have time to Snapchat me pictures of your adorable ass baby.
Hence the baby being there.
He's so cute.
But while you're looking for that, Jess, Matt Klentak was asked yesterday about, the differences between Manuel and Malley and the launch angle and all this stuff. And I just want you to hear the response. And then I'm going to give you my response. It's going to happen very quickly, my response. Okay?
That I'll work backwards. The road trip wasn't good. But that's not solely why we're making this change. Our offense hasn't been good for some time now. Philosophically, this may not be as big a shift as it seems. Charlie Manuel, a lot of you know this, but some of you may not. Charlie Manuel has been very instrumental in the development of our organizational hitting philosophy.
That part's
Charlie,
true.
although he has a senior advisor title, has been very active in our minor leagues. He was very close with John Maley. He knows our players very well. He watches the Phillies all the time, often from the box with me upstairs. And Charlie Manuel, as a hitting coach in the 1990s, was preaching a lot of the things that have now been labeled as exit velocity and launch angle and have some new titles. But that's the kind of stuff that Charlie was teaching back when he was helping Jim Thome become a Hall of Famer.
That's not true.
Okay, that's my response. Okay, because Charlie was not talking about make sure you see the pitches. Charlie said go up there and be aggressive. And we know that because he said that, as he said in the quote that you said, I don't coach to walk.
Yeah.
Okay? So what this shows me is Matt Klentak is out of touch. Gabe Kapler is out of touch. I know that there is little to zero chance that Gabe Kapler is fired at the end of the season. I firmly believe there's little to no chance because they already have their narrative. Well, look, we only missed the playoffs by X amount of games, and look at all the injuries we had, right? The narrative's already set in place to give him his 3rd year. If I was there, if I'm John Middleton, I go, he ain't cutting it. And Matt, love how you made those moves, but Bryce isn't here without John Middleton. JT Realmuto's not here without John Middleton. I could get somebody else in here who is a baseball guy with a side of analytics rather than an analytics guy with no baseball side. And that's what I see in this front office. And until that changes, I don't know how anything can change with this organization. Now, maybe Charlie Manuel has a miracle up his sleeve. They're 2 games out?
Yeah.
Which is insane when you think but it also tells you how bad the NL wildcard race is. Like these teams, nobody wants it outside of maybe Washington at this point, who seems to be kind of distancing themselves in the race. But it's very frustrating. And I blame the players a lot because they have not played well. But if you're being ingrained to take pitches and try and pull the ball and all these other things that it seems that they have been doing, it's going to screw your mentality up as a hitter. And we know baseball is one of those mental games. It's a major part of it. So
yeah. So the tweet from Gabe was from July 26, 2013. Time for the Phillies to do the right thing for the future of the organization and pull the trigger. Sad for fans, sadder for the team, but time.
Yeah.
That's the tweet.
Yeah, so he doesn't know what he's talking about because never mind. I don't even want to rip the guy. It's just
you know me. I've talked about this before. I'm never one that's gonna sit here.
I
and
hate that
call
you were
for a
right a
person's
year ago.
job. What? About what?
About
Sorry,
him.
I'm right a lot. I don't know.
About him.
Gabe?
Yeah. I hate it. I wanted you to be so wrong.
I knew I wasn't.
I wanted you to be. And you're not.
He's so fake.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. And I'm not just talking about his Botox and facelift and eye lift and tan and coconut oil. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about the way he is as a human. Like the way he talks. Who was I listening to?
I don't know.
I don't remember who I was listening to on the radio that, just said, I don't remember. It might have been Mikey Miss yesterday. He was like, when they talk to Gabe, I can hear it now. I really just think, what Charlie's going to do. Charlie is a phenomenal human being with a beautiful passion for the game. And I was like, you're dead on. And it's when anybody can give you like a rundown like that, it's such BS. It's such crap. It's so terrible. It's not believable. And I'm sitting here as a fan, a person who loves the Phillies, as someone who understands the game of baseball, who knows sports, and I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that's not it. I don't believe you, and you're not convincing me to buy in. You just sound fake. Now, let's talk about 40 grown men in that room. You think they're buying in? You think they don't think it's fake? It's crap. It's crap.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you. I hated the article that came out from, I believe it was USA Today, right after the Diamondback series. Where they quote Arrieta and Bryce about how they love how he is with the guys and how he is with the team, and look, that this comes into part of what I've said about a lot of professional athletes. They're becoming very oversensitive. They don't handle the yelling in your face guy, and I get that. But there's a way to be that great players coach, but also be a good coach as well.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Charlie Manuel.
Doug Peterson
in this town.
Brett Brown.
Maybe. We'll see. Brett.
You wanted to say it so bad.
Well, did you see the one guy who put him? You see the one guy on Twitter who put?
Listen. This guy.
The guy I'm talking about?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna explain this guy to you really quick.
Because he's like, it's my list. Okay, it's dumb.
Wait, are we talking about the same person? The
No.
one who always comes at me?
I don't know if this guy. I'm talking about the guy
one that you responded to that was responding to me?
About the Ayers, Kotite, Kelly, and Brown.
Yeah, no. See, I don't. I see his little picture of Super Smash Brothers, and I ignore all of his tweets mostly, unless I think they're funny, and I think other people will get a good.
No, you have the other guy that you're talking about told me to suck on Brett Brown something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what I'll say.
To which I said, stay classy.
This guy claims he's boycotting the Phillies, yet every time the Phillies are losing, he tweets at me, which means he's still very much tuned in to either the actual game or on his ESPN app. So it's really, really funny to me that he's like, oh, look, they're losing again. I'm like, oh, look, you're claiming to boycott them, but here we both are. It's just silly. It's silly, but he's also like, I'm boycotting the Phillies. Brett Brown sucks. Carson Wentz is injury prone.
I'm talking about the guy who's got like a military guy as his avatar.
I'm sorry, I lose track.
Who said this is the tweet that I'm referring. He said $300 million leadoff man. I have not hated a coach manager as much as Kapler. Think about that. That's Brett Brown, Chip Kelly, Kotite, Ayers, Princeton offense, etc. To what I said, the fact you actually put Brett Brown in a group with Kelly, Kotite, and Ayers is disturbing. And he said, the fact is, it's my list of coaches I hate. Well, it still is a stupid thing to do because I don't know how you can hate Brett Brown as much as Rich Kotite, Chip Kelly, Ron Ayers, and Eddie Jordan, who might go down as 4 of the worst 10 coaches in the history of the city, and you put Brett Brown in there. The other guy, though, yeah, he was a little angry because he said the Sixers have no chance because of stupid Brett with a clown face. Way to be creative with your Brett clown. And all I tweeted was a little Will Ferrell, what an idiot. To which he said, yeah, keep sucking. And I said, a little Ron Burgundy, stay classy. So that was a fun exchange.
I have a lot of idiots in my mentions.
Jess, I love going to your mentions because then it gives me a lot more fun on Twitter because then I just get involved. I'm that ass.
Did you see the one today?
No, I didn't see the one.
Someone responded to me today and said, "Excuse me." Oh, someone responded to my article about Charlie Manuel that I wrote yesterday, and his response was, "Rather see you in a."
Oh, I did.
And I literally was like. And I quoted and said, "Gentlemen, don't be this guy." And my very wonderful, loving boyfriend responded to that guy and goes, "Dude, me too."
Yeah, it was
like, come on, man.
Well played by him.
Which made me laugh.
You know what else is funny about a lot of the guys that we're talking about on Twitter? Is they have like 100 followers. Not that I have the most followers in America, but like we always talk about the loud minority. Well, there it is, right there. There it is, out right in front of you.
If you have under 200 followers on Twitter, please don't talk
Speaking of followers on Twitter, Jess, we have to get a campaign. The Man This page, as of yesterday, was at 836.
Yeah.
Okay. I would really like to hit this 1,000 mark.
I'd like to hit 3,000. I'm sorry, I couldn't leave it.
As you could tell, Jess is all about her. Forget about me. Makes me sad.
Not true.
All right. Anyway, let's get the Madness to 1,000. And once it does, I will randomly pick. I have 2 shirts. Okay. I have the All-Star shirt. Okay. Of Ben Simmons. I also have the red Jackass shirt, which many people can wear at many different functions and have a lot of fun with that. We will let you choose the shirt. By the way, speaking of shirts, we have some new designs.
Ooh. Did I send you all of them?
You sent me the 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
Love them. Love them. Our Eagle shirt is
phenomenal.
I'm ecstatic. So we are in the process of figuring out some things with that. As soon as they are available, we might have them before they're available to you because
I will have one.
We love them.
Yeah.
We
I'll be
them.
wearing that Eagle shirt to the opening.
Yeah,
that'll be the move.
Big fans. So stay tuned for that. We got an Eagles, a Sixers, and just a general.
That applies to all.
Yeah, it applies to all.
Applies to all.
But thank you to Ben Simmons for the the idea to a certain extent.
An angel.
He's an angel. He is an angel. I'm sure you're going to be talking about him later in a This Is Madness segment. I have a feeling. I didn't even put it down because I was like, you know what? He's going to have this all covered up.
Yup.
So, Jess, 43 games left, 2 games out. You got the 2 games against the Cubs here in this series. Where do the Phillies end up? Because something tells me we're not going to be talking a lot of Phillies going forward unless they make a run.
Right. Amazed that the I'm amazed that the Nationals are where they are. Right now,
apparently there was an article. It's all because of Baby Shark.
We're not even gonna. I'm not even gonna address that.
That is nothing more
than the Phillies
than
and the
wave.
Mets are in the same spot right now. So all the Phillies need to do is win.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Because they're both 61 and 58, both 9 games back.
Yeah, just win.
But no, it's separating from me. It's not giving me the actual. I mean, I'd be stupid to ever count a Philly team out before they're done. It would be stupid of anybody to do so.
I agree.
You
well, I agree about this team.
Age.
I just think that there is a chance because if the offense gets hot, look, it's very disappointing with Bryce and Reese and nights like last night where they're both 0 for 4. I think that this Bryce in the leadoff, Reese in the second has to change. I'm hoping it changes tonight. I just don't, granted, guys like Real Muto are coming around. So I heard today from Andrew Salchunas that I guess over his last 100 at-bats, he's batting over 300. So he's really started to pick it up. Had a huge game yesterday with an RBI double and a home run, I believe, in the game.
Yep.
Corey, I don't know. Did they ever give us an update on Corey Dickerson? Because he got hit.
Well, they just called up somebody from AAA. So I assume.
Hazley?
No, Hazley's on the team.
Oh, good.
Oh my God, you're worse than the idiot.
Was that
radio.
when Bruce? That's when Bruce went down, right?
All they did was cancel Adam Hazley's flight.
Because Bruce played one game and then got re-injured, and that was the end of that.
So Adam Hazley.
That was fun.
Yeah, Adam Hazley's still there. I forget who it was. Hold on. It was Logan Morrison. Hitting 308 in AAA this season. So they called him up, but they haven't announced the second half of that move yet. But I assume it's the X-rays are negative, but I assume it might be like a 10-day.
That's great. Just as I was really starting to love watching Corey Dickerson every day, injuries get the guy again. How about our guy Vargas last night? Vargas.
I was teaching dance. I didn't watch.
6 innings pitched, 2 runs. Vargas.
Yeah,
well
way
done
to
by
step
him.
back up.
Naris got me a little nervous in the 9th. Walked
Well,
the guy.
He does that.
Well, no, he got an out, hit a guy, got an out, walked a guy, and then I think they grounded out to end the game. But it was just a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, they grounded out to that was. Yeah. I watched the end of the game, but I didn't see any of the. I think I saw the 7th through 9th.
There.
I was teaching.
All right, we'll shift gears on that. We've exhausted my Phillies talk for today because I'm just so frustrated because I just expected so much more this season. And
we talked about how anything less than 9 wins would have been good.
I think I even said they'd be a wild card team, but I didn't mean like they'd be having to fight for the wild card. I meant they would have one locked up like by now, and we're just kind of getting to the end of the season.
Do you want to hear the lineup for tonight?
Do I?
I don't know.
All right,
it's different.
Please.
Let's get weird.
Charlie!
Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, Gene Segura, Scott Kingery, Roman Quinn, Cesar Hernandez, and Adam Hazley, with Nola pitching.
Hazley back, baby. Playing, that is.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't play him. I don't understand. But they
were playing Corey Dickerson. They
were playing Roman Quinn over Adam Hazley.
But now I have a question. Wait a minute, now I have a question. Adam Hazley was on the bench last night. So when Corey Dickerson, who was playing out in left field, I assume, got hurt, tell me why they went to Sean Rodriguez instead of Adam Hazley.
I can't figure out why Sean Rodriguez is still on this
Because
roster.
he uses coconut oil with Gabe Kapler.
There are a few people that are athletes that play for my own team.
I'm even more
that
now.
I hate more than Sean Rodriguez.
I'm even more angry now than I was when Corey Dickerson got hurt last night. I saw Sean Rodriguez. Honestly, I'll be very honest with you. Full disclosure, had no idea that Hazley was back up. Okay.
Yeah, we learned that about 10 minutes ago.
Shut up. So now that I do, and I know that he was on the bench last night, it could have very easily been subbed in the left field where he plays. I'm even more irritated than I was.
It was
so thank you.
2 nights ago when Sean Rodriguez tried to jump and make that catch and completely butchered it, right? It was 2 nights ago? Or no, it was Sunday. It was that last game against the Giants.
I've attempted to block out everything that Sean Rodriguez does.
So he literally jumped up and just blatantly missed it, and I was watching it thinking, how to make like it just it made me so upset.
Oh my God. I hate it. I just hate it. I
hate him. I really hate Sean Rodriguez.
I just don't understand.
Watch him have like
situation.
2 home runs tonight. I think that's virtually
Wait,
impossible.
was he in the lineup?
No.
Oh no, he ain't gonna hit 2 home runs. No, maybe in batting practice.
Maybe.
You can get a couple there. Tonight's game's interesting with the Nola versus Cole Hamels.
Yeah,
it's almost like Nola kind of he was a guy to kind of replace the Cole Hamels-esque guy.
And Cole's never
pitched here. And I'm sure now here's right. I heard this on the radio. Salchunas and Martinez were talking about it on my way in. You can give him the standing O at the beginning, but you're in a wild card chase with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Be careful of how much you're cheering for Cole Hamels at the stadium tonight. It was one thing when Chase was here and hit a home run and the Phillies were 20 games under 500 and stunk.
Irrelevant.
Right? It doesn't, at that point, okay, whatever. You can give a little bit of a pass. I can't give a pass to just cheer Cole Hamels every single time he comes out tonight.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't give that pass. You're in a wild card chase. You have your ace on the mound. This game is huge. You almost have to win every game Aaron Nola pitches from here on out, whether he gets a decision or not.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what the hell you're going to get after him.
Yeah.
So hey, when he comes out, maybe his first at bat, give him one of these.
Why are you doing that in the microphone?
I don't know.
Please don't.
I'm sorry. After that, stop for good, and make sure we win the game. That's all. That's my point.
Okay.
And Cole will be back next year. All right, here we go. It's time to move to the NFL. The monsters of the gridiron. Okay. I think we go divisional breakdown first.
Yep.
I think that is the way to do this. And there's no better way. A little NFL, see how it was ready to go?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Roll right into that. So we are going to the AFC West today to give you a recap of last year. The top two teams in the AFC West were two of the top teams in all of professional football, and they were the two top teams by record. Record-wise in the AFC, granted, one had to be a wild card because of the reasons we know. And that's the Chiefs and the Chargers, both 12-4. Chiefs won the division due to a tiebreaker. Then you had the Broncos at 6-10 and the Raiders at 4-12. I am very intrigued by this division this year because I think the Chargers and Chiefs are still very good, and I expect an improved Raiders team, and to a certain extent, I expect an improved Denver team, which always makes for good football. And I kind of like those AFC West games late in the season. They get the 4:25 start or the Sunday Night Football, and they mean something. You know, you don't agree? Uh-oh. Did something happen?
Jake Arrieta placed on injury
Well,
list.
you saw this coming.
I knew it was coming, but the official decision has happened.
Okay.
Oh, God, does that mean that Eflin's back in a starting role? Or Pavetta?
Call up Spencer Howard.
Because one of them are going to have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's the other half of that Logan Morrison decision.
Oh, possibly. That's a good point.
Then that would mean Corey Dickerson's okay to come off the bench, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That just...
I don't know.
Breaking news happened!
Finally! And
Yes!
It was miserable news, as always.
Yeah, well, it's better than Jake Arrieta pitching tomorrow.
Fair.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
You
Oops.
did.
Oops!
So let's start, and I'm just kind of going on the notes that I have up here on the computer where the Denver Broncos are the first team discussed. And we'll go to them. As we said, 6-10 a year ago. They brought Case Keenum in to kind of get the quarterback position back on track after he went to the AFC Championship game the year before, or the NFC Championship game the year before. That didn't work out. So Case Keenum, gone. Will not be the starting quarterback there.
I have those lists up.
I do too.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I'm looking now.
Awesome.
The key additions, Joe Flacco, Jawan James, Kareem Jackson, Bryce Callahan. They lose Brandon Marshall, Matt Paradis, Shaq Barrett, Bradley Roby, Billy Turner, Darian Stewart. They draft tight end Noah Fant. That's a kid from Iowa, I believe. Maybe Penn State. I don't remember. No, it's not Penn State. Dalton Risner, another offensive lineman. They draft QB Drew Lock to kind of hopefully mold into somebody. And then defensive lineman Draymond Jones, who a lot of people think was a steal, who fell because of his combine performance. But another addition that I think will matter to this team is, look, you look at the offensive line for the Denver Broncos. They weren't good last year. They don't look tremendous on paper, but they bring in one of the best offensive line coaches to ever do it in Mike Munchak. And he really knows how to get the most out of his players. And you have a team now that does not have what I would call Mr. Mobile and quarterback in Joe Flacco. So you got to protect him a little bit. And listen, this team is not going to be a juggernaut. I don't think they're going to be an above 500 team. But they bring back a Phillip Lindsay, who showed some promise last year. Mm-hmm. They probably hope to see more out of second-year running back Royce Freeman. You have Cortland Sutton, who a lot of people see as a breakout candidate this year. Emmanuel Sanders is recovering from injury, so you don't know. And look, I know Joe Flacco is not the best, but Joe Flacco has a decent pedigree in this league. He's won in this league. So I think from that standpoint, you're better at the quarterback position, even if it's not by much. And I look at Denver as a team that will battle and they'll fight hard. And I probably got them about 8-8.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe 7-9. I'll give them 7-9.
Yeah, I was gonna go like a 6-10, 7-9.
I think they upgrade from last year. They get another one.
I don't think they do because I don't think Joe Flacco wants to be there. I don't think he gives a damn what happens when he's on the field, and I think there's a really good chance he doesn't finish the season anyway, and they put Drew Lock in there because they're not going anywhere. I really don't. I don't see them.
I give them 7-9.
I give them 6-10. I don't see them upgrading.
Wait, did they brought in a new coach or no?
I don't remember.
I can't even remember if they brought a new coach in.
Are they still going to be in fourth place for you?
Well, they were in third place last year, but yeah, they're going to be.
You're right.
They're going to be in fourth place this year.
I just meant also because I have them in fourth place.
Yes,
That's my bad.
They are going to be my fourth place team. Next on this list here is the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City had a very eventful offseason, losing guys, gaining guys, and not so good news around the team. And Tyreek Hill, really.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about real quick their key additions. They bring in Frank Clark, bring in the Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu. Rashard Breeland comes over, Alex Okafor, Emmanuel Ogba, Deron Lee, the linebacker from the Jets, and running back Carlos Hyde all come in, although he's more of a filler, it seems like, at this point in his career. A lot of promise out of this Damian Williams kid. They expect a lot out of him. They lose Justin Houston, D. Ford, Mitch Morse, Eric Berry, Kareem Hunt, Steve Nelson, Eric Murray, Orlando Scandrick. They draft safety Juan Thornhill, wide receiver Macaulay Hardman, who was like a Tyreek Hill clone, it looked like, and defensive tackle Kalen Saunders. Look, Kansas City's going to be good. Okay,
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback. Andy Reid knows how to win, especially in the regular season.
Only in the regular season.
Tyreek Hill is not getting suspended, so he's going to be there, which is just another incredible weapon. Their defense, so yeah, they lose a Justin Houston, but they get a Frank Clark. Lose a D. Ford, get an Alex Okafor. Lose an Eric Berry, get a Tyrann Mathieu. They kind of replaced the guys that they lost a little bit. And, so I don't think it'll be that much of a terrible downgrade for the defense.
Well, no, because the defense wasn't really that good to begin with. So
it was time to get rid of some of those guys.
Yeah,
that
they replaced what they had, and I mean, yeah, they weren't anything to write home about to begin with. So anything is kind of an upgrade. I mean, Frank Clark. I mean, he'll probably be better than D. Ford or Justin Houston were last year. Hopefully, he won't line up off sides in the overtime of the AFC Championship game. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is a step up from Eric Berry,
right?
Who didn't really play much.
Yeah, with injuries and everything like that.
Everything. I mean, anything's a step up from Orlando Scandrick.
You mean our soon-to-be starting cornerback because of the injuries that we're dealing with?
Yeah.
How about we talked about Blake Countess, how they really liked him last week, and then he got injured and they released him on an injury settlement.
Did you see who else they released on an injury settlement?
I did. Jess, how you feeling today? Are you okay?
There's only one player left on the Eagles that has hit on me.
You okay?
I'll make it.
Wait. I don't even know that one player. I knew Shelton. I do?
Did I tell you?
How you holding out on me with this information?
I lose track.
The hell's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It's so hard to keep track of all.
I know. But listen, they lose their center Mitch Morse, but they had a guy waiting in the wings for him in this Austin Ryder. So look, this team's going to be good. I know a lot of people, you don't like a lot of changeover in your organization. There was. But honestly, the best news for them was the charges being dropped against Tyreek Hill and Tyreek Hill being found exonerated of all crimes, whether we agree with it or not, because I know we both agree. We are in agreement on that, Jess.
We are in agreement that we don't agree with it.
Yes.
To make that clear.
But he will play. There will be no suspension. coming at this point, and that's a win for them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
From a football standpoint, this team, listen, 12-4 is really a good record. Could they do it again? Sure, but I'll go with them at 11-5 this year.
I have them at 12-4. Were they 12-4 last year or 13-3?
Yeah, 12-4 last year.
Yeah, no, I have them going 12-4 again. I just don't see them really. 11-5, 12-4. Yeah, kind of all around there.
Yeah, and I think I think the division. It's going to be 4 tough games for the Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs when they play each other. Because I do expect the Raiders to be better to compete. I don't know if they're going to win a ton more games, but they're going to win more than 4, in my opinion. They have more talent this year, so they're going to win more than 4.
That's assuming AB plays.
Oh, no. You didn't see his tweet after he lost the appeal?
No. It has nothing to do with the helmet.
Oh, the frostbite?
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
He's not going to be ready for the regular season.
He'll be fine. Just frostbite. He'll live.
Of course he'll live.
There were guys kicking with 2 toes in the past. Or no toes. There was a no-toe kicker. He kicked the football without his toes. He can run. I saw him running. He was running the other day. He was running. He'll be fine. I'm just saying. I think he's going to be fine.
Okay.
All right. Good talk.
Yeah. So what do you think the Raiders are going to do?
Oh, so we're moving on to the Raiders now. Let's move on.
Move on to anywhere. I really don't care. Just pick one.
Did my music go off?
Yes.
That's interesting. Oh, I thought it was a lot longer. I must have clicked on the wrong one. I did. Clicked on the wrong. Okay, now we're back. I was going to say, how long ago did that happen? It was a really long time ago. So, the Raiders, right? That's what we're talking about now?
Yep.
Because I'm all thrown off now. All right, Raiders, key additions. Obviously, the aforementioned Antonio Brown. They bring in offensive tackle Trent Brown, linebacker Brandon Marshall, who left the Denver Broncos, wide receiver Tyrell Williams, who I think is a very nice, solid second wide receiver. Safety LaMarcus Joyner, a guy that, in my opinion, shouldn't be allowed in the league anymore, in Vontaze Burfict. And another guy who shouldn't be allowed in the league anymore, and I find to be one of the biggest jackasses in all of sports. But he's a good offensive guard, and that's Richie Incognito. The losses, Kalichi Osemele, man, remember this contract he signed coming over from Baltimore? It was giant. Jordy Nelson, gone. Jared Cook, gone. Marcus Gilchrist, gone. Marshawn Lynch, God knows. Donald Penn, out. And Rashawn Melvin, out. They had a great draft because they had 3 first-round picks, and they picked 3 guys who could make instant contributions for them. The edge rusher from Clemson, Cleveland Farrell. Running back Josh Jacobs. Safety Jonathan Abram.
Did you see Josh Jacobs' tweet the other day?
No, I did not.
He was like, "You're all asking why you haven't seen me on Hard Knocks. It's because I've been avoiding them."
Good for you,
He's
Josh.
like, I'm avoiding them like crazy.
Well played. He's going to get caught up at some point. They're going to get him.
I just thought it was funny.
Also, you have cornerback Trayvon Mullen and edge Max Crosby as rookies on this team. Wait a minute. Is Jonathan Abram, he's a cocky SOB. I only saw the first episode of Hard Knocks. I missed last night's. But I like his style. Yeah. He don't give a damn, does he?
No, he's funny.
Listen, this team is going to be better than 4-10. I think last year, was a year where they really, Jordy Nelson was done and just kind of out there. Your defense, I don't think was as good as it's going to be this year. When you add the likes of Brandon Marshall and LaMarcus Joyner, and then you bring in guys like Cleveland Farrell and Jonathan Abram in the draft, you're setting yourself up to be a better football team. It's another year with John Gruden. Look, I love Mike Mayock, and I think I always said Mike Mayock would make a great GM. And yeah, there are things that have happened where you look back and go, what in the hell is going on? But at the end of the day, I think he's done a decent job to get this team ready for this season. And I expect them to go up from the 4 wins to 8 wins. I expect a big jump for them. I will give them an 8-8 season, much more competitive, but still, I don't know if I could trust Mr. Carr back there, quarterback, yet, to make all the right decisions. So we'll see. Plus, they're on Hard Knocks, and Hard Knocks basically means average season awaits.
Yeah.
So you got?
Yeah, I think they're going to be 8-8.
You're giving me
I think they're going to be 8-8. I think, one
Jess, with the riveting breakdown of the Oakland Raiders.
I really just think, they can either be really good or they can be a complete dumpster fire. And, like, you can't tell.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I really just I think that it was unfortunate when Derek Carr broke his leg because I think that was their shot, and I just think I don't know. I don't know how seriously these players actually take Gruden. Like, I think Gruden's like a Muppet. And, like, they struggle. Not like a Gabe Kapler, we can't take you seriously, but like you are literally a cartoon character standing in front of me. Like, I think that's what it seems like. So I think they're going to be better, but I don't, again, like, they're going to go 8-8 because they have to play the Chiefs twice. They have to play the Chargers twice. Like, that's not going to go well. That's right there. That's how many? That's 4 losses immediately. And then they play other teams that are better than
I don't know if it's 4 losses immediately. I think they might steal one.
Not from them, they won't. Maybe a couple from the Broncos.
All right, well, regardless, we're both at 8-8 there in third place.
Yeah.
All right, here we go with the Los Angeles Chargers. It was a very quiet free agency period. They do bring in Thomas Davis to kind of solidify the linebacker group, but they lose Tyrell Williams, Corey Lugitt, Jaleel Adai, Darius Philon, and Antonio Gates, who was kind of there. Very nice.
Did he retire finally?
I would assume so. Nice draft. They bring in defensive tackle who's a tank, the 6'7" Jerry Tillery, and then the safety out of Udell.
Go Hens!
Nasir. How about how excited people got that you
So
said that last
I
week?
realized that.
Do you know this person?
Yeah.
Oh.
We were dance minors. Which I didn't realize. He said something the other day on Twitter, and I was like, wait a second.
I'm a huge fan of his, by the way. He loves our stuff, and he's always going back and forth. He's
joined us.
He's
today.
joined us here. There he is. I'm a huge fan, and I didn't even know he was there just when I said that.
Yep.
That was not like a staged, I know
No.
he's talking to you.
Go Hens!
Go Hens. Anyway, that's Nasir Adderley. Listen to me. A lot of what the Chargers will be, I think they're going to be good regardless.
Yeah.
But obviously the Melvin Gordon situation is looming.
Yeah.
Adam Schefter firmly believes that this is going to last in the season. He doesn't know if it'll last all season a la Le'Veon Bell, if it lasts a couple weeks, whatever it may be. I tell you what, it's throwing the hell out of fantasy football drafts because no one knows what to do right now.
No.
Because of Le'Veon Bell last year, they go, do we draft Melvin? Do we draft Ezekiel? What do we do? I don't know what to do.
Didn't we take Le'Veon Bell last year in the podcast one?
Yeah, it didn't go well too for us.
It was all right for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then it kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
But it started okay.
It started wonderful. So, granted, last year they won games with Austin Eckler running from that position. They have a couple other rookies on the staff. I know that they lose Tyrell Williams, who was a good secondary receiver, to Keenan Allen, who, now that he's been healthy, is just showing you how much of a stud he can be. I have a big feeling that Mike Williams, who kind of had an injury last year, he had to come back from that, and he just struggled. But he got hot late, and I expect him to be a very good second option for Phillip Rivers this year. Mm-hmm. And they have Travis Benjamin running the slot. Yes, he's slowing down, but good slot guy, good deep threat. And then you have the tight end, Hunter Henry, who had a really bad injury last year. If he could come back and be what they expected him to be, they have weapons. Defensively, their biggest issue last year was the linebacking core. And they had young ones, good ones, but they needed that professional, that veteran presence. They get that, but Thomas Davis, right? Thomas Davis knows how to win. He knows how to play the linebacker position. I like this team a lot.
Yeah.
I personally, I haven't got to where I'm picking in my head a Super Bowl team, but they're on my radar for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, I had them in the AFC Championship game last year, fell short by one game because they won the first playoff game, I believe, last year. I'm going to put them back in the AFC Championship game this year. That's it. That's a foregone conclusion in my eyes. They will be back there. They'll be one of the top 2 seeds. I'm going to give them a 13-3 record this year. Just because, didn't I give? I could have won 12-4, but no, I'm going to stick with it. Stick with my guns.
Okay.
13-3.
I'm giving them an 11-5 because I think that they don't have another running back that can really step in if Melvin Gordon doesn't. They've got Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, Derek Watt, and Jeremy Cox.
Sure.
Who?
I don't know.
The question is who are they?
Austin Eckler can play.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler can play.
But they're not getting someone that's going to step in.
I know a guy named Wendell Smallwood they could have.
Sure. Yeah, can't have Melvin Gordon. So let's Wendell Smallwood.
Just take
He's
him.
the next best thing.
I just mean take him.
Sure.
Please.
Okay. Shush. Anyway, so I just don't. I think that Phillip Rivers can get too heated and too frustrated, and I just think without a running option, if things aren't necessarily going right, I think I don't expect them to take too far. Like I mean, they were 12-4 last year. I expect them to be 11-5, but I also still obviously expect them to be in that playoff conversation. I expect them to be a wild card team.
I personally believe Austin Eckler and the second-year kid out of Northwestern, that's who Justin Jackson is. I believe the two of them combined can, Eckler can do a lot of the catching out of the backfield and kind of that scat bat type of role. I think Justin Jackson can run the ball very well. So I think that, look, I agree with you. And I think when I give you that prediction, Jess, and I say 13-3, I do that with the idea that Melvin Gordon will come back, even if it's 2 games into the season.
So mine is the opposite.
You don't think
I don't know if I think he will or not,
right.
but thinking he, if he doesn't.
Right. Because I think,
I'm going with that perspective.
Melvin Gordon, where Le'Veon Bell held it as, okay, I only have 1 year left on my contract. Melvin Gordon doesn't have that power, right?
Right.
He's under contract for, I think they said 3 more years if you take the double franchise tag into play, as well as being a restricted free agent next year. So they kind of control his rights. So what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Same thing with Zeke, right? Zeke's 4 years that the Dallas Cowboys can hold on to him. What are you going to do? Speaking of which, we're going to talk about Dak boy. No, don't bring it up yet. Don't bring it up about your boy Dak. Do not bring it up about your boy Dak. We will talk about that, and This Is Madness. That is my major one to go with. All right, so you have a Chiefs-Chargers. I have a Chargers-Chiefs, and then we both have it Raiders-Broncos in the AFC West.
Yes.
Okay. With that, we've broken down another division. 3 more to go. We'll go to the NFC West next week.
Oh,
The Rams, Cardinals,
Seahawks,
49ers,
Niners.
and Seahawks.
Yikes.
Guys, full disclosure, the Rams win. I'm just putting that out there.
The Rams are going to win.
You
that
don't have to
division.
listen to that part next week if you don't want. The Rams are going to win the division.
Yes.
But it will be closer.
So
It'll be a
we'll
little bit
have
tighter.
NFC West, and then the week after that, we'll do AFC East, and then the day before the season starts.
I'm excited. And the season somewhat got underway on Thursday at the Link. The Link was open for a football game last Thursday. The Eagles, the Tennessee Titans, and the entire Lange family was in attendance.
That picture of you and the children is just a magical photo.
Well, there were many, and not to make this a personal show,
no,
but
please go right
there
on.
were many personal things I wanted to talk about that night. First of all, a lot of people were stunned, including my own father, that I had my 3-week-old son at this game. I didn't really think about it at the time, and I went, pretty damn early. Like, you've literally been in existence on this earth for 3 weeks.
And have been to a Birds game.
And you've been to a Birds game.
Go Birds.
And slept through most of it like a champ.
That's fine.
Was just champ. And I was nervous.
Meanwhile, I see nothing wrong with anything you do.
No. There is one thing, and I was nervous because I never even thought.
The sound.
I never thought
fireworks.
to have a set of headsets for him. Now, granted, I just kept my hands over his, and he didn't seem to jolt or nothing seemed to bother him, which was good.
Yeah.
Because as we're on our way there, I was a little nervous because my father-in-law said something. I'm like, oh, damn.
That would have been good.
That would have been a good
Do
idea.
they sell those at the...
I don't know.
They should sell them at the pro shop if they don't.
Yeah, maybe they
should.
do. I was trying to avoid the pro shop because the other 2 Neanderthals are with me.
Yep.
And so...
You just referred to your 4-year-old daughters as Neanderthals.
Listen.
The shoe fits, I guess.
My 4-year-old daughters are causing me anxiety these days. I love them to death, but there's anxious moments these days. So we go to the game, get there right about kickoff, sit in the seats. That lasts for it looks like a biblical storm is coming as we sit in the seats. So I got the baby. I don't have anything to cover the baby with, so it was like we got to go up to the concourse. So we go up, and Ariana has decided she's done. She doesn't want to go back to the seats. Alyssa needs to feed the baby. But Ella, who, by the way, on the way there, I didn't think was going to make it 2 minutes because she was already miserable, wanted to go back down to the seats. And not only does she want to go back down to the seats, which made me happy, we go back down and we're watching the game. I waited till today to post the video to Twitter. Or maybe I didn't, but I'm going to repost it now.
Did I? I don't think I saw it on Twitter.
Okay? I'm going to repost it now because, ladies and gentlemen, when you become a father, there are moments that become the moments of your life. The moments, the pinnacles, the ones that make you so happy that you've done something right. And well, ladies and gentlemen, as I am literally posting now, my daughter, Ella, very excited after an 80-yard strike from Nate Sudfeld to Michelle. Was it the wide receiver, Michelle?
Yeah.
Got to sing the fight song. And ladies and gentlemen, she did it to perfection. And the whole thing was caught on video. And I think my favorite part of it was the hug at the end. Out of pure joy that she got to sing it. Now, after that, we go up. We have to find Alyssa. We have to find the kids and all these other things. We go up, and Alyssa immediately goes, "Don't say anything about the fight song. Don't say anything about the fight song." Apparently, as the touchdown happened and the fight song began, they were in the bathroom, and Ariana did not get to sing the fight song. And Ariana was pissed that she did not get to sing the fight song. So there's that. The other thing I want to talk about is the helpfulness of the staff at the link. It's a preseason game, so things are a little bit more laid back, except for the parking lot, apparently, where people are jumping each other, if you saw that.
Well, apparently it was a really, really drunk Titans fan who was
saying inappropriate things to the girls,
obscene things to the girls, aggressive things to these guys' girlfriends, was told to stop, wouldn't stop. Obviously, the national media would never share that with you. It's just Philly fans being Philly fans. But apparently there were some very, very grotesque things being said to these girls, which, I mean, I would have done it. Joe wouldn't have had to. I would have stepped right in just like that. But you know, I've hit people that have crossed the line before. I'm not ashamed to say it.
I'm not at all surprised by this. There's nothing about that comment that surprises me.
Don't no. And it's worse when it's like, you know, they're with their boyfriend and they like continue to say aggressive things and you're like, all right, please just chill. Like, please chill. You're like, please stop. And then they continue and you're like, okay, now you're going to get hit. Deserved. Anyway, continue. So it was relaxed.
So, no. Relaxed was not, because I was up and down the steps like 4 times. So now Alyssa needs to, she fed, now obviously she's nursing. She did like one side just standing. And she's like, I can't do that again. Mm-hmm. She found the family bathroom to change him, changes him. They put us, so if you go behind on the lower bowl there, behind like the 40-yard line on the visitor side, there are these segments of seats. They're like leather Eagles high chairs. I guess it's a disability section, but like a wheelchair couldn't get up there, but it's some sort of disability section. Mm-hmm. They let us go sit up there. My God, was that a hell of a place to watch a game. It was so nice. I'm sitting in a leather chair at the 40-yard line. She's not, and I'm like, this is amazing. So now I'm watching.
This is the best day of my life.
That's where the picture that you're talking about was taken. It was taken up there. Yeah. So we were underneath. And I just thought that the staff was really helpful. They did, trying to help Alyssa in finding family bathrooms and all that kind of stuff. So kudos to the Eagles and the Lincoln Financial Field staff. The third thing that excited me was going to where my seats are in section 124. There's always been a concourse right there, and there's always been a burger place, pizza place right there. Mm-hmm. That has changed, my friends.
Oh, boy.
That has changed. And you know what is right above my section now? And with me giving up the consumption of beer is such a fan of, big sign. Cocktails. Vodka and Club, vodka and cranberry, gin and tonic, rum and Coke, right at the top of my section. So when I walk in for a game, my first stop is to get a cocktail now. And that excited me. Oh, and then there was a football game, too, that was played.
There's a football game that happened. It was a pretty crappy football game.
Yeah, it was really crappy football game. But as always,
that's preseason.
Philadelphia fans just overreact, don't they? Ugh. Don't they? They know that 4/5 of the actually, the entire offensive line didn't play.
Yes.
Carson Wentz didn't play.
Yep.
Miles Sanders played like 3 plays.
Yep.
Jordan Howard played like 2 plays.
Yep.
No Alshon, no Deshaun, no Nelson. No Zach. When Goddard was in the game, nobody could stop him. Okay, I just talked about the whole offense that matters.
Yes.
I do feel terrible. I want to stay on the offense side. We'll go defense. I do feel terrible for Nate Sudfeld because he looked good. He looked confident.
Yeah.
He was evading pressure. He was throwing the ball. That throw on that 80-yard bomb, and I was like, I honestly said, the little bit of that I was able to watch, I sat there and said, all right, I am confident in our backup quarterback. And I didn't even know he broke his wrist on that play because obviously the things that were going on until I got in the car.
Yeah.
And now
it was okay, all right. Don't act all deflated because here's the reality of the situation.
Yes.
The man's not in a sling anymore. He was in a sling for 2 days.
Okay. That's good.
He's out 6 weeks. Okay? 6 weeks puts
What's that get you? Week 4?
3. Week 3.
Carson, stay healthy.
If God forbid Carson gets hurt in week 1,
well, you're probably done anyway.
They'll put some extra padding on Nate Sudfeld's non-throwing hand that he broke or wrist that he broke, and he'll go out there and play. Okay, if even if it's just like a little tweak of something, Carson's gonna fight through it because how Carson is. Unless it's something that's literally broken, he's gonna fight through it. B, if they need
torn ACLs, don't stop him either.
Yeah, if they need Nate Sudfeld will be there to play. So anything else is an irrelevant conversation. Talking about Cody Kessler is irrelevant. Talking about Clayton Thorson is irrelevant because they don't matter.
Clayton Thorson is horrendous.
Horrible at football. He should probably pick another job.
Cody Kessler, is just, hey, you're Cody Kessler. You are who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have any feelings of anything towards you. Clayton Thorson
not good.
Was god awful.
So, but
and that's what I'm more.
So
upset.
I feel for Nate Sudfeld because this is his time to play.
Yeah.
That sucks. But at the end of the day, let's not act like this.
I think part of it is it kind of takes away some luster for tomorrow because now I got to watch Cody Kessler and Clayton Thorson play.
Yeah, and Nick Foles isn't playing either.
Yeah, no Nick Foles. By the way, did you see his quote about the number 9? Did you see that?
Did you see that he stayed and ran 50-yard sprints in full pads after practice?
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm just talking about.
He's a goddamn animal.
Him and his love to Philly. Did you see the quote?
I did.
Where he did not want to wear number 9 there because number 9 is with Philly. That is a Philadelphia number. It stays in Philly. I thought that was really, 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 really cool. So that's the offensive side of the ball. I thought the Dallas Goedert on the 2 drives he was in.
He's an animal.
Well, I watched it and I said, oh my God, when him and Zach Ertz are on the field at the same time, how are you going to stop the middle of the field? You're not. And by the way, that's with Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson on the outside.
Yeah.
Have fun defenses.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah. On the defensive side of the ball, let's talk about it. No Fletcher, no Brandon.
Did Malik Jackson play?
I don't think Malik played.
Timmy Jernigan played, right?
Timmy Jernigan played a little bit. Derek Barnett did not play. Did Vinny Curry play at all?
Derek Barnett wasn't cleared yet.
Yeah. Now he's practicing. He started practicing this week?
Yep. Oh, yeah, he did. He was there.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that, too.
He was
that's
there.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't think Vinny Curry played. The entire secondary was – you didn't have your safeties.
They're hurt. They're all hurt.
Yeah, but you had – did Rasul Douglas play and Sidney Jones play a little bit?
I don't even know, honestly.
No, Sidney Jones I don't think played.
I have no idea. I didn't watch them. I was teaching.
Oh, that's right.
I had to watch. I watched and listened to the last bit because we were on our way to the beach as well. But
yeah,
I was teaching, so I didn't get to see all of it. I saw the first drive.
So bottom line is not a lot of guys plays. Now there were some concerns on defense, and I think we need to address them. Okay, and this is the day to do it. Not when we're breaking down the team and their off season and all that. With the Eagles, we like to address as games come up. Number one, the linebacking core is really, really, and I know that they weren't all out there, but Zach Brown didn't do anything to wow me. Nate Jerry didn't do anything to wow me.
Losing Camus was big.
Losing Camus is starting to look bigger and bigger. Yeah. So that's a concern.
Losing Camus was big. LJ Fort didn't play too bad. But he's also got a chip on his shoulder. He heard all the chatter of the Eagles wanted a linebacker and fans wanted a linebacker, and they got him, and he's out here to prove that he was the right guy for them to target. And Nigel Bradham's also hurt still, or not playing. So he, you got a little bit of difference there.
Right.
I think losing Camus was big because he's just a firecracker out there, and he's just always excited and always happy and always hyped up. I hope Nate Gary can take a step forward. He hasn't. He's been a little bit more on the disappointing side, but I think he has the potential there. But I agree. The linebackers didn't really do anything spectacular.
So that's one thing. The other thing, Josh Sweat, who's supposed to be a guy that's going to be in the fold now, right? You have Barnett and Curry, or Barnett and Graham as your starters. You have Vinny Curry and Josh Sweat are supposed to be your rotational edge guys. Not a great showing for Josh Sweat. Would have liked to have seen more from Josh Sweat. He was, according to, now Ray Dininger obviously watches games a little bit different than we do, Jess. But he said it was an undrafted guy really outplayed him on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. That's a bit of concern, which brings me to this point. And this is the biggest concern. Not maybe a concern. And more so I want to ask the question. When do we start worrying about the amount of injuries that seem to still be plaguing this defense? Because, on paper, when we talk about that, it looks good. But none of these guys are even practicing yet. And I'm a little bit concerned about it.
So, since the preseason game, Derek Barnett started practicing. Mm-hmm. Rodney McLeod's almost cleared. He's practicing. Darby's practicing. Jalen Mills still is not practicing. But Sidney Jones was the other one that was on IR, and he's good to go. Mm-hmm. Who am I missing? Nigel was a hand injury, if I'm correct. So he'll be fine. Fletcher is fine. He is not cleared yet, though. But he'll be okay. He'll be ready for the season. And actually, Brandon Brooks has his last... I know this is the opposite side of the ball. He has his last appointment this week.
Okay.
To find out if he's good to go.
Look, and I tend to agree with you. It can get concerning when it's like, this guy isn't cleared. You start saying...
The only person that they don't think...
Jalen?
Is Jalen. The only person that they're not 100% sure...
And Cravion LeBlanc.
Cravon just got. He wasn't hurt. He just got hurt, and it's the same. It's similar to what Jalen's was. So they don't expect to see Cravon until November, which is why they brought in Orlando Scandrick.
Right.
But with Jalen, so I mean, we've talked about this. I talked to Jalen on November 1st, and I said he was in a walking boot, and I said, "How are you feeling? When are you thinking you're gonna be back?" And he said, I'll be back in 2 weeks. And I said, is that for the Saints game or after the Saints game? And his exact words to me were, no, I want that Saints game. And I said, okay, Jalen.
And guess what?
So then later, I had further communication with another player and who I said, like jokingly was like, oh, Jalen Mills lied to me. And he said, no, Jalen told you exactly what he thought was the truth at the time. It was a lot worse than Jalen or anyone else realized or thought it was. So that was, and since then they've cleaned house again. Medical staff has been cleared out. Whole new med staff. So
we need a whole new medical staff in Philadelphia, it seems like.
Apparently. So hopefully it's Cravon's is handled better. Hopefully Jalen had surgery after the season. He was in a boot for a while. Now it seems like he's on a better track to get back. I hope he's ready for the season. I haven't heard anything about him being ready week 1. Everyone else I've heard, rumblings of Darby, McLeod, Fletcher, Brandon Brooks. Like I've heard that all these guys are going to be ready week 1.
I'm surprised Darby's going to be ready week 1 with a torn ACL. And it happened late.
His was non-contact. It was clean.
Yeah.
It was clean and he's,
you just never know with that
young
type
ACL.
of injury.
It was...
You forget how young he is, too. You do forget how young he is because he's a veteran on this.
Yeah.
Out of these corners, he's like a veteran. Yeah.
He's 25, but also, if you think about it, so he got hurt November, I want to say 13th, 14th, because it was Dallas. And here, when they played Dallas.
Yes.
So it was November 13th, 14th. He'll be ready for week 1. Carson was December 13th, 14th, and he was ready week 3.
Yeah, so it's about right.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very similar and,
I just, I guess my point is because the Eagles on defense rely so heavily on rotations and having multiple guys in multiple spots, I would have liked to seen the second teamers that were out there perform a little bit better last week because some of those guys are going to play. Like that's just the way it's going to be. They're going to play in the regular season. Now, maybe the Eagles score, 100 points a game, and it doesn't matter. But I want the defense to be really good again. And I'm not saying they're not going to be. It's just it's a little concern. I will say this: the other guy that really impressed me, and we've heard how good of a camp he's had, and we've heard a lot of people talk very highly of him. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside can play. The one catch he almost brought in very early in the first quarter.
It was insane.
I mean, he
would have been a legend already.
Yeah, I'm very excited about him as your fourth option at the receiver.
And especially in the red zone. I mean, he will probably forget, is he 6'5" or 6'3"? I can't remember. Because Alshon's 6'3".
Yeah, he's probably,
I think he's 6'4" or 5". Like, I think he's bigger than Alshon.
Okay.
So he'll be our biggest option in the red zone.
Yeah, and then, oh, by the way, we'll just give you, I want 5 wide, no backs, in the red zone. Alshon, JJ, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz. I don't care. Me.
Put me out there.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it, and it'll still be as threatening.
Put Jake Elliott out there. There you go. Let him run a route. Got his autograph, by the way, for my birthday. Very nice. Not from him in particular.
I was going to say, did you
I didn't
call
meet him. No, someone got it for me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. I was a big fan. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
His puppy has an Instagram that I'm sure his fiance runs, but his puppy's adorable.
Oh, I thought his puppy maybe did.
His puppy's adorable, and like it posts really funny pictures, and the dog's always sleeping in like the most precarious positions. It's very funny. But like also like Jake will go to Temple and work out and just like kick, and the dog would just be like running around in circles like around him as he's trying to kick field goals. It's really funny.
He's enjoying his life. Yeah,
why not?
But okay, so that was the game. We talked about game was the prettiest. We'll see what they look like Thursday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, I wouldn't expect many of the starters to play again. You might see a couple more guys just get in for a series or two, but I don't think you're going to see a lot. The NFL has, it really is the third preseason game they play. Fourth preseason, first and second, if they play, it's very rare. Like, I was surprised that Mariota played two drives against the Eagles the other night. You got to keep that in mind as well. They had their first teamers out there for the most part. And Deion Lewis was out there late into that second quarter. Practice this week was interesting. Andre Dillard, who I thought had a pretty solid game for his first game in an Eagles uniform, looked strong, looked like he was able to take on a rush, all that kind of stuff.
He looked really good.
Yeah.
He looked really good.
Gets into it twice this week. Okay? Actually, 3 times if you think about it. Because Jonathan Cyprien kind of did not like him.
From not doing anything wrong, mind you.
Jonathan Cyprien came at him for blocking him to the ground. Mm-hmm. Then him and Derek Barnett get into it when Barnett shoves Dillard back into Wentz, and Dillard, in a little bit of frustration that he's getting pushed back into the quarterback, went back at him.
No, that's not what happened.
No, that wasn't Barnett.
No, he was blocking Barnett, and he just thought that like they were just in shells and shorts, so they weren't in full pads. And Dillard's like going hard on every play, and Barnett was just getting frustrated with how hard he was blocking, and then just decided to kind of go after him, and just they kind of went to the ground in a scuffle, and it was team drill in the red zone, so. Everybody was there and pulled them apart. They sat out the next play. Then on the next play they were both in, Derek Barnett continued to block him, threw him to the ground, and he clipped Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz almost went down. And that's when things got bad, because that's like, okay, you want to go hard at each other and make each other better and, inspire some competition. That's one thing. But then all of a sudden you're hitting Carson Wentz. We have a problem here. So that did happen, but that was that was Derek Barnett taking out frustration after.
Well, guess what, Derek Barnett? Okay,
I mean, it's not even like this is his first time. He's been in practice for 3 days. Well, chill, my dude.
And here's my issue, though, with Derek Barnett. And I look back to a scene in Rudy. Okay, you ever seen a movie, Rudy?
Yes.
Okay. There's a scene in Rudy where Rudy tackles the running back played by Vince Vaughn, ironically. And Vince Vaughn gets up and throws the ball at him. He's all pissed off. Mm-hmm. This guy's out there playing like it's the Super Bowl. And Ara Parsegian walks over to him and says, you summed up your sorry career in one play. Now, I'm not saying that Derek Barnett has summed up his career, but man up. Keep in mind that Andre Dillard is a rookie who feels he needs to show himself. Now, Peterson and Roseman spoke with him because he was apparently visibly upset after the whole thing.
You could tell.
Okay, which I get. I understand. But Derek Barnett got pissed off because Dillard ate his lunch.
Yeah. And here's the thing, people are like, oh, well, he's a rookie trying to prove himself. I'm like, at the end, he has to play well, but he doesn't have to prove anything. He's making this roster. It's
but
not
that's
like
how he plays. That's how he practices.
Fine. But it's not like he's a bubble roster guy, and they're like, oh, well, he's not he needs to. His spot on the team is secure. He's making the 53. He's their first-round draft pick. They traded up to get him. If you don't love what you're seeing out of him, you're crazy.
No, and I'm sure they do, but I'm sure in Andre Dillard's mind, I'm a rookie in the NFL.
Yeah, and I need to prove myself, and I'm about to be the successor of a future Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Who came after Trey Thomas? Jesus.
Yes. And that's kind of where I sit, is I sit there and I say, all right, you know what? I like aggression. I like being a little over. And I'm sure when Howie and Doug talked to him, they said that. They're like, look, we love aggression. It's okay. We're just saying, hey, guys aren't in pads. It's the lulls of training camp, the doldrums of training camp, right? As you get further along into this thing, they're now in the week 3, I believe, of practicing.
Yeah.
It happens. And then who did he get in the fight with after that? Because he got in a fight with somebody else.
It was.
But that was in just one-on-one drills.
Oh my God, who was it? I literally.
Was it Josh Sweat?
No. I literally wrote about it yesterday. It happened as I was writing my article.
Yeah, I thought it did.
It was in the middle of me writing, and I was like, ooh, new paragraph, here we come. Hold on, I'm finding it.
But look, these are good things to have. These are the stories you want at training camp. Aggressive stories, guys getting into it a little bit, getting fired up, getting pumped to start going after guys not wearing green jerseys, except for when they play the Jets. The Jets will be wearing green jerseys so they can hit them.
Joke.
I mean, it wasn't a joke. When the Jets are in green jerseys,
Anyway,
I want to hit
continue.
them. So shut it. You always got to come at me. I don't understand. Nah, not happy. So
Sharif Miller.
Who
has been disappointing.
Because they should have never drafted him. Jess, we both said that after the draft.
There could have been someone.
They drafted a defensive end who needs work.
There were better options.
Much better.
There were better options.
Well, all right, Jess. We're at about 4:30.
This is madness?
Do we go This Is Madness?
Yeah, why not?
How many do you have this week, Jess?
I just have, if you have something to say about Dak, just one.
Yeah, that's all I have written down, but I'm going to talk about some other things too.
Oh,
I just
want to talk about Ben Simmons.
Please do, Jess.
I don't understand what he did to everybody.
Jess did write an article about this as well.
Someone explain to me what Ben Simmons did to you to make you so angry. First of all, I don't understand why people in Australia are attacking him.
Russell Crowe.
He does nothing but constantly talk about that he is so proud to be from there. He is their first NBA All-Star. He does nothing but bring pride to that country. We had an Australian Heritage Night at Wells Fargo Center this year.
Yes, we did.
Does that ever happen?
It was a great night.
No, that
wasn't
never
there. I'm just
happens.
assuming it was a great
Joe
night.
was there. We have a shirt. There is a shirt with a kangaroo on it that says Australian Heritage Night.
Awesome.
Philadelphia 76ers.
We should give it away.
No, he likes that shirt.
Sorry, Joe. Joe, we're not going to give it away, man. I was just talking.
But I just don't understand why people... So basically, the biggest issue that has happened is Ben Simmons hosted a camp in Australia, a one-day camp for a bunch of kids. It was $200, which if you have a brain or know anything, know that is a fantastic price for a camp especially with a player of Ben Simmons' caliber. Okay? Jason Tatum, who has none of the accolades Ben Simmons does, and is the worst, hosted a $500 camp.
That's inexpensive.
So everyone who's Also, there was a child who wanted to go to Ben Simmons' camp who had recently lost his father.
Oh, I saw that story.
Ben Simmons and his family paid for he came to the camp for free, and they paid for him to get from Perth to Melbourne, which is a little bit of a hike. Okay. Paid for him to get there. And these kids have had nothing but wonderful things to say about the camp, about Ben. Franklin the dog flew all the way over to Australia and was there.
Franklin came out.
Franklin was there. Listen, I have a giant problem with people who try to force narratives that have nothing to back them up. People don't do their research because they're worried about ruining their narrative that they have created. And that makes me extremely, extremely angry. So people in the media that are talking about Ben Simmons making $170 million, why does he need to charge $200 for a camp? Why does he have to charge that much when he already makes enough money? That's crap. If you look at any other camp, they're way more expensive than that. That is actually a pretty good price. And what does his salary have to do with how much is charged for a camp? They have to pay for the facility. Mm-hmm. They have to pay for the other instructors that
People
are there.
don't realize the insurance that a camp costs, too.
Insurance that a camp costs. Simple things like not only do you have to pay for the space, you have to pay for the air conditioning you use. You have to pay for the water bill that you use while you're there in the time that you have reserved. You have to pay for everything. And I know this because I work at a dance studio. And I know that there are a couple different studios I teach at. So for the one, when we use the space for the recital, all of the bills for that day come to us. The other studio I teach at, we're not allowed to turn the air conditioning on if we're using the studio and the other students that go there throughout the year, if they're not there and we're just using it that night and we open the door and lock up ourselves, we're not allowed to turn the air conditioning on. So all of these things go into it. But doing that research for that side would destroy the narrative of trying to make Ben Simmons out to be this horrible person, which I still can't figure out what the grounds for that are. Like, I'm confused. What 23-year-old does the kinds of things that he does to help people? There have been several Make-A-Wish kids that have come through the Sixers that have wanted to spend time with Ben Simmons. He looks more than thrilled. They're out there with him shooting around. Like, he's a good dude. And he's a good basketball player. Leave the man alone. For the love of God, leave the man alone. It drives me insane. I don't get it. He's going to hate us all.
Listen, fortunately, this isn't just a Philadelphia thing. This was an Australia thing. A lot of people in Australia going after him. Something happened in a club where he was kind of profiled in a way.
And told he wasn't allowed to wear the pants he had on.
Yeah, I mean, just stupid
is silly.
crap like that. But guess what, damn it? If you're Australian and Russell Crowe is coming to Twitter to defend you, damn it, you have made it.
You've made it big.
Russell, Gladiator himself has said it. I am a fan of Ben Simmons. If Maximus Aurelius is a fan of you, damn it, Ben, you're okay. So I'm with you, Ben. I stand with you, and I stand with Russell Crowe.
I love
and
you,
obviously,
Ben.
I stand with Jessica Town.
Love me some Ben.
Now it's time for Jess's favorite guy. Dak Prescott. There's been a lot of talk. You are the
worst.
There's been a lot of talk about the Cowboys and how Amari and Dak and Zeke, they all need to get contracts and this and that. And there's been talk that, I don't know, the Cowboys have a number in mind for Dak, and Dak has a number in mind for him. So then it was reported that the Cowboys offered $30 million per season for Dak Prescott.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yes. What the hell is going on out here? Oh, no, but there's more, ladies and gentlemen. There's more. That offer was rejected, as it has now been reported and repeated.
Reported, repeated, all of the
both.
things.
That Dak is looking for $40 to $50 million per season.
What the hell's going on out here?
I figured that needed to be played again because I don't know what's going on in Dallas. First of all, I don't know what's going on from the Cowboys' perspective that they feel the need to pay a guy who has won one playoff game.
Yeah.
$30 million per. And you could say, well, the Eagles did it with Wentz. Well, Wentz was on his way to an MVP season, and Dak was not. Dak has shown that with no running game, he is no good. And we'll see really quickly if Zeke sits out a game or two.
I would love
just who Dak is. Okay. But then for this guy to think he's worth $40 million per, Dak.
He's living in his own world.
You're an average quarterback, dude.
You're just average at best.
You're average. Who the hell do you think you are to demand and command $40 million a year? Who?
Can you imagine? They're going to have to give Patrick Mahomes like the rights to the entire Chiefs team.
If Dak Prescott gets $40 million per, the number that the salary will be for quarterbacks going forward is going to reach
astronomical.
That Alex Rodriguez 300 and now Bryce Harper 330 million type.
Mike Trout
450 million or whatever he got.
I think
I don't even know.
412.
I don't know. The number's absurd.
For something
to play a damn sport. Dak Prescott's gonna get. If Dak Prescott gets $40 million per year,
I deserve $40 million per year.
No, I'm not even gonna say I deserve that. I deserve to be paid as a teacher $100,000 per year. That's all. Just give me $100,000. As a matter of fact, Dak, if you get $40 million per year, you pay me the $100,000 per year because I'm better at my job than you are at yours. Ridiculous, absurd, aggravating, yet so funny to watch it happen in Dallas and Jared's world with all those stupid scumbag jackasses that call themselves Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboy fans. And yes, I mean every word of what I just said.
Suck.
That was my big one.
Love it.
My big one.
Hilarious.
What the hell was it? There was one other. Oh, this isn't much as much This Is Madness as I kind of meant to talk about this, but it kind of fits into This Is Madness. I am tired of fans telling us why a team in the city should not trade for someone. Whether it be, I don't want to give up a pick and a player. This guy's pretty good. He was on the Super Bowl team. If you could trade a third-round pick and Halapuli Vaitai.
His name's Halapuli Vaitai. You acting like that and saying that doesn't make you any better than the announcer that called him H. Vaitai for an entire broadcast.
Well, I would never call him H. Vaitai. I just call him Vaitai.
His name is Halapuli Vaitai.
I'd call him Vaitai. Or Big V.
He stepped in for Jason Peters. Learn his goddamn name.
He was great.
Yeah.
Loved him.
Learn his name.
I would trade him and a third-round pick for Jadeveon Clowney without even an hesitation.
My hesitation is we don't have the money to give. That's my hesitation. I don't care about
the year.
Okay.
We'll worry about that then.
Okay.
I'm worried about right now.
I understand that. But that's my only hesitation. I don't mind trading the pick and the player. My only hesitation is having that issue and
need
again, not my money. I don't have to. I'm not the one who has to deal with it. But as a
Howie
through.
In Howie we trust. And if Howie was to make this move, you better damn well believe he would make this move with the plans of finding a way. Now, some people have said, well, what do you do with Derek Barnett and Brandon Graham? Brandon Graham keeps doing what he's doing. Derek Barnett becomes the second tackle and the rotational tackle. And probably loses some playing time because Jadeveon Clowney is a beast. And anyone who says they don't want him here
is an idiot.
Is a jackass.
Is an idiot. If you don't want Jadeveon Clowney on your roster, you're a moron.
This is Rob's rant right now. Actually, is what this is,
yep,
because we didn't do that.
You're right.
It is mind-boggling that there are people out there that are going to sit here and tell me they don't want Jadeveon Clowney on this team because they don't want to hurt Derek Barnett's feelings. Screw that. You saw what Josh Sweat is. Vinny Curry's a nice player. Jadeveon Clowney is a freaking beast.
Yes.
My God, I would be ecstatic. Ecstatic. I need to get that part out there.
I have one more thing that I would like to share.
Yeah, and I do too. So after that.
The starting lineup for Team USA.
Is that the guaranteed starting lineup or just?
Yes.
Someone said this could be one of the starting lineups.
Okay, well, this is the best they can muster. Ready? De'Aaron Fox, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker, Brooke Lopez, and the one, the only, average Donovan Mitchell. Hilarious. Absolutely.
Let's go through
hilarious.
one by one. Go start at the beginning again. Well, don't get away from it.
De'Aaron Fox.
I love De'Aaron Fox.
Great player.
Yeah.
But again, this is of all the players in the United States and in the NBA.
Yeah, but some of the guys that drop, like I like De'Aaron Fox better than them.
Yeah, I know, but all the ones who, the first round of people, not the second and third tier.
But none of those guys will play in
the
the Olympics. The big names will come back in the Olympics. That's what'll happen.
De'Aaron Fox, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker, Brooke Lopez, and Donovan Mitchell. I know.
PJ Tucker.
I know. It's
How did PJ Tucker? Come on, man.
Hilarious.
PJ Tucker and Brooks Lopez?
Come on, that's so funny.
My man, Spider's going to be out there. Spider Mitchell representing the US of A.
Go Australia.
I was going to say, Jess might kneel at the anthem now. So we're gonna be part of a controversy because Jess is gonna kneel in front of her TV every time Team USA's on for the anthem, all because Donovan Mitchell's on the team.
Donovan Mitchell sucks. I hold firm with that.
Oh my God, yes, you can hold firm with that. That's great.
Okay, and your last one?
So I ordered. Thank God Alyssa doesn't listen to the show. I ordered a jersey from China.
Yeah. Oh, right.
DHgate.com.
Yep.
Ordered a white Miles Sanders jersey. Mm-hmm. And I get it. China's very far. And I get it that they're shipping it literally probably on a ship and that things take time. Mm-hmm. But like I never even got a notification that it's shipped. And then I happened to just go on the website and it's like shipping will be here September 9th. Can't you just send me an email? Like just make me feel better. Like send me a damn email. Send me a damn email.
First world problems.
It is a first world problem.
That's a big. This
jersey's like $25 too. Like
this is a big first world
I am
problem
really interested to see what a $25 jersey looks like. Kind of concerned, but if it's good, there will be a City Select Joel Embiid jersey coming to me next. That's what I've decided. I was going to order both at the same time. I said, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's see one first, and then you could kind of go back. Because the City Select, or what I really want is the new Sixers uniform that they're dropping, the retro.
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get a Simmons jersey in that.
And I want the Sunday afternoon Bryce Harper jersey, the cream one, cream color jersey. I'd like to get myself one of them. So if this website's good, I'll come back and let you know.
Sounds good.
And we'll go from there. One more, Jess. I can't believe neither of us brought this up.
What?
Philadelphia Eagles fans, I love you. I love this fan base. You're passionate. You're into the games. You're into everything. But we have a really bad social issue right now with some Philadelphia Eagles fans who just can't seem to wrap their minds around a male cheerleader.
Yeah.
Now here's the deal. Okay, when I first heard there was a male cheerleader, what he's actually doing was not what I was expecting. I didn't expect. I didn't expect to be holding. I expect to be dancing and doing things like that. But for some reason in my head, I didn't expect him in the lines, doing the stunts and the cheer like that. But even though I now saw that, I looked at it, I went, he's actually doing the cheers. And that was the end of my reaction.
Right.
Like I wasn't like, oh yeah, but I also wasn't, oh my God, this is disgusting. The amount of Twitter, and Jess, you dealt with some of it, and we all kind of have to a certain extent. I am baffled that we are still that behind on the times where that's bothering you. First of all, he's not the first in NFL history because I believe there's one other with the Rams. Have two. By the way, in the next 5 years, I would bet you close to all 32 teams have one or two men on the cheerleading squad. Jess, you've danced. Did you cheerlead at a younger age?
Yep.
I mean, you know. Why? Just why?
Because it's the misogynistic jackasses that think that they're only there to be half naked in front of them, and that's that they're the idiots that are upset because they see the cheerleaders as a sex symbol and not actually.
They're the ones who stand up at every commercial break and try and wave and just say, "Oh, she waved to me."
Yeah, those.
Something here when you're 22 and if you do it like drunk, it's one thing.
The ones,
the 55-year-old
like
men,
the 55-year-old
gross
fat,
bastards.
gross. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Hey, fat is a disease.
I didn't say you. I wasn't like throwing that at you.
I'm not 55.
I know you're not, and you're also not fat.
I'm not anymore. Well, still a little bit, but we're getting there.
Anyway, but it's like the gross that is borderline like it's borderline pervy. Actually, it's definitely pervy. It's gross, and the problem is that you have to keep in mind that like these cheerleaders are not there because they want to be a sex symbol for drunk idiots in the stands. They're there because most of them grew up as dancers. Most of them are dancers, and they grew up in the city or are around the city, and it's something else fun to do. Like Kyle Tangway, who is the Eagles male cheerleader, he is a full-time student at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. He's a dance major at UArts. He's a spectacular dancer. Absolutely phenomenal dancer. But a lot of these are either full-time students or they have full-time jobs and they just do this on the side. And it's people that are professional dancers and are doing it because they love the Eagles or love the city, or they are people who were dancers and are looking to do something to stay involved with it. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with it. He's out there like everybody else. He had to try out like everybody else. He made the cut like everybody else. And he's out there absolutely killing it with passion, loving what he's doing.
Loving everything he's doing. Like, why do we care?
It's only the gross people that have this stereotype about the cheerleaders and what they want the cheerleaders to be and what they are trying to get from the cheerleaders.
I'd rather be more mad at the adult human beings who come to the game wearing shoulder pads than you being mad at, like, come on, man. Like, you got to... And no, you could call me a liberal, sensitive, whatever. It's not a matter of being liberal. Just be a human being.
Yeah, be a human being.
Just be a friggin' human being for 5 minutes.
And the people that are like, oh, that's not cheesesteaks and Rocky and Broad Street Bullies. It's not Philly. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean?
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. None.
So yeah, just had to bring that up. That was a little frustrating to see.
Extremely frustrating
from our fan base, especially when they're just clueless. They're just clueless idiots.
Don't be morons.
Don't be morons.
I'll find you.
And make
you feel worse about yourself.
And there's the threat from one Jessica Town. All right, so we're gonna end it there. Jess, I would like to try and install the new segment that maybe start it next week.
Okay.
If we can.
Okay.
Keep our fingers crossed. Stay tuned to Twitter, Run This Town 13 at Philly_Mantis on that. Look for the new designs. The minute we can get them out to you, they will be out to you. Could be some other big news coming as we move down the line here in the next couple weeks, which we will keep you abreast on. Next week, we'll break down Eagles Jaguars. We'll talk about the AFC or the NFC West.
Yeah.
And whatever the hell else is going on in Philadelphia sports.
Sounds good.
Jess, enjoy a few days at the beach. Sure you'll love that.
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Hopefully it doesn't rain. I'm going to enjoy a few days of being a dad.
Yes.
The school year is quickly approaching, which means I'm quickly getting ready to go back to school. So we will be back next week. Remember, wildfireradio.com, prosportsnotes.com. The man, this is Rob Lange on iTunes. Download, subscribe, comment. We'll see you next week. Embrace the madness, everybody.